Hi and welcome to the Coding Ultimate Guide. In this tutorial, we are going to learn indexing in Python. Indexing in Python is a way to refer the individual items within the iterable by its position. In other words, you can directly access your elements of choices within an iterable and do various operations depending on your needs. So herein I'm going to show you in the graph index in Python. That is, I have a my list and that contain the multiple elements which contain 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 100 and 111, that is 111, and each element have their own position. In Python, there is two type of indexing there, that is positive index and negative index. And positive index is start from 0 and negative index is start from -1. The 0 index which the element that is 2 and the 1 index that the element is 4. So that is mean the two elements of its own positive index is 0 and 4 element the positive index is 1 and so on. The 100th element, the positive index is 6, and 111, the positive index is 7. So as we will count the negative index, that is count from the last, count from the reverse order. So that is our first negative index are count from -1. So here my 111, the negative index is -1, and so on. My 100 also, the negative index is -2, and so on up to my 2. Here my negative index is -8. So let's go for the example, and there is some specific rule here. The indexing always start from 0 and index 0 represent the first element in the sequence as in the graph. The positive index always 0, that means the first index or first element of this list, and negative index start from the -1 and that is the reverse, and the negative index which start from the -1, that is the reverse of the sequence, that is 111, and index -1 depends the last element in the sequence. So let's take a for example. So as we know that index is usable for string, list, tuple, not in the set, because set is not a sequence type of data types. So that's why we cannot use in the set. We can only use string, list, and tuple. So here also we can use also range function as well as. But here for example we are going to talk about string, list, and tuple. Here the example of the indexing in the strings. So let's say I have a s variable which contain the Python, that is in my string format. For example, I take that is my first index. So I'm going to print first index. So it will print me the p. If I run this, give me the p. Okay. So if I print my the negative index which is -1, that will be my n, because as I told you in the graph here my -1 depends the, that is the negative one index, that is count from the reverse order. So that will be depend the, that will here -1, that will mean the n. So if I run this, it give me the n. So as for the example, in the list that contain the multiple elements which contain 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So for example here, if I will print list 1, the first element, first index, the index mean that is the 0 index. 0 means that is the first element, which is the 10. If I run this, give me the output 10. So if I will print 2, the 2 index means that is here the first element is 0 and 20 is my 1 index and 30 is my 2 index. So here if I run this, output is 30. So as I can say, if I do -2, that will give the a reverse order. In the first -1, that is my 50, the -2 is my 14. If I run, give me the output is 14. So example in the list tuple, that is inherit the tuple, the same things count. That is print tuple. If I print the zero index, it will print my 10. Sorry, tuple one. It print my 10. If I do the same things to the negative index, it will print with the last element, which is my 50. So this is the example of string list and tuple indexing. So let's talk about the index error. The index error cause whenever we attempt to use an index that is too long or too large will result in an index error. Let's say that we are trying to access the element which is not present in here in this element, that will give us the index error. For example, let me comment it or let me give you another row here. Let me here let me copy and paste it here. And what I'm going to do, the print, I'm trying to catch the that index which is not present. So let's say I'm trying to access the 10 index in the strings, but which is not present here. It will give me an index error of string. If I run it, it will give me an index error because string index is out of range because 10 index is not present. And let's talk about the indexing in list, index error in list. So let's say here, if I'll print the same 10, 10, it will give me the same error because it give me the list index is out of range. And if I'll print the with the tuple format, it will also give me the same error, that is tuple list of tuple is out of range. If I print tuple and 10, give the same output, the tuple index is out of range. Okay, so the next thing is asset assignment to indexing. So we can assignment to indexing in immutable type of object and mutable type of object, but there is few rule of immutable type of objects. So the first rule is assign to an index position for immutable objects like string tuple object will rise in type error, because as we know that whenever we assign a immutable type of data type, it always given error because immutable type of data type that cannot be edited or modified. So if and another, let's say for example, let's say my here is my top row. Let me copy here. Okay, so let me copy here. I'm trying to do that. Uh, there's my first index which is my 0, and I'm trying to do, let's say that is my 10. If I'll bring the will give me an error because as you know that tuple is our immutable type of data type, so we cannot change the tuple value through the indexing. So here that's showing that type either tuple object does not support item assignment. String is also our immutable type of object. If I do the so string 0, that's my first index. You might say it's J. It will print yes. It will also give me the error because string object does not support item assignment, because as you know that string is also our immutable type of object, immutable type of data type, so that will not allow the item assignment. So as you know that also the second rule is if tuple contains mutable objects like list, we can do assignment for this for that list. So for example, if my tuple contain the mutable type of data type inside the tuple, let's say 5, in that content 1 2. So I can here do the item assignment. Let's say T, and I just want to find the list inside the tuple, the list position. So here my 1 is 0, 2 is 1, 3 3 is my 2, 4 is my 3, and 5 is my 4, and list is in my 5 position. So here I can do index, that is 5, and I want to change in the first position of the list, so I can do 0, and to change, that is let's say my to change to the 3. If I do print t, it will assign a new value of 1 to the 3, and it will print me the output as a in the new list will be, that is with 3 comma 2. If I run, it will the change the first index of list, that will be 3. So I can also do a item assignment for the list inside a mutable type of object inside the tuple. Okay, so and the next example is mutable objects. So in the mutable objects, for example here, as in the list case, I'm going to copy it and paste it in the mutable type of case. So let's say my here, that is my L1 is my uh, list, and that contains the multiple element 1 2 3 4 5. And I want to assign a value of the first index, let's say L0, that is my, let's say 10. I want to print L1. As we know that list is our mutable type of data type, so that means it can be edited or mutable. So that means also modified. So we can do the item assignment to our mutable type data type, which is our list. So here the 0 means the first element. I am changing the first element to the 10. So if I'll print the L1, it will give me the output 10 2 3 4 5. Okay, so in this tutorial we learn about indexing in Python. In the next session we are going to talk about slicing in Python. Thank you for watching.